guys, welcome to KimchiRednecks. Today we are going to be making Dolsot Bibimbap, which is basically just a rice dish that is served in a hot pot, and it has lots of mixed veggies in it and some meat. It's my very favorite dish here in Korea, and we recently found the stone pot that you make it in. So we got 2 of those, and I am going to attempt to make it. So this is my first attempt. I am using a recipe that I got from my very favorite YouTube channel, Maangchi, who does amazing Korean recipes, and it's never failed me, so I know it's going to be delicious if I follow her recipe. So today's recipe, Dolsot Bibimbap. So my favorite part about Dolsot Bibimbap, because there's 2 types. You can get a cold bibimbap, which is just the rice and the veggies and everything is cold. It's not served heated up. When you get it in the stone pot, it's called Dolsot Bibimbap. And my favorite part about it is that they put the pot on top of the stove and they cook it. And the rice that's on the bottom gets really crispy, and it's like a scorched rice. And actually, they sell in Korea your own scorched rice. It's not nearly as good as what you get at the bottom of the bibimbap. So my game plan is, because we don't have the proper type of stove in order to put this directly on the eye and allow it to cook it, I am going to put my bowls into our oven and let them warm up. I will put a little bit of sesame oil in that bottom, and then put a small layer of rice that I've already cooked in my rice cooker. So put a layer of rice in there, and I'm going to let the rice on the bottom crisp up before I fill up the rest of the rice, as well as the rest of the veggies once everything is cooked and ready to go. So that is my game plan for today. Dolsot Bibimbap, best recipe, best Korean food, at least my favorite. So hopefully it'll be a favorite for you too. Ready for me to talk? Okay, so what I have already started on here is I've just added our ground beef. You can actually cut up some flank steak if you want, but basically I'm using ground beef just because it's easier for me. So I've got my ground beef in here, and then I'm going to add our ingredients to it to actually flavor it. A lot of people in Korea actually eat raw meat. I'm not a huge fan of eating a whole lot of raw meat, so I'm going to cook our meat that's going to go with our bibimbap, just because that's the way that I like doing it. So what we're going to add is a tablespoon of minced garlic, a tablespoon of soy sauce, and a tablespoon of honey, time to get more honey. And then I have already added a little bit of sesame oil for cooking, so I'm only going to add about a teaspoon of sesame oil because there's already some in there. So if you're doing this and you don't want to cook your meat ahead of time, which is totally fine, it's totally up to you, what you're going to want to do is use the ingredients that I have just used and marinate your meat prior to this. Now, our meat's going to have a little bit of extra time to sit in the sauces or the juices that it's going to cook through once I get it browned, and then it'll have time to sit there and marinate, so I'm not overly worried about the marinating portion of it. But if you are fixing it and you're going to do the raw meat, then you're going to want to do the marinate and then probably put it in the fridge, cover it, keep it in the fridge until you're ready to use it. So for us, we're just going to go ahead and get this browned.
Alright, so what we did with this mess right here with the stone bowls is we put a little sesame oil around the inside of it to season it, and we packed a little bit of rice around the outside, and we've got the oven heated up here, so we're going to throw those in the oven and let them cook for a little bit so that it cooks the rice on the bottom, and then we will add more on top of it with the veggies when it's done.
Okay, so the veggies that we are going to use today are soybean sprouts, carrots, green onions, mushrooms, peppers, which are also called paprika here in Korea, and zucchini. Normally we would do a somewhat marinated / wilted spinach dish with it as well. However, our Korean market was out of spinach, so we are not doing that today because we were locally sourcing our veggies. And additionally, they also occasionally do cucumber, and I just wasn't feeling cucumber in ours today, so we're just going to go with this because I'm going to be sauteing all of our veggies, including our soybean. Now, Maangchi usually does a soybean sprout soup and then uses it from that, but I kind of prefer my soybeans and mine to be just a little bit stir-fried almost, so we're gonna go with that as my version, like me taking my license on her recipe, but that's my plan. So now we're gonna get our veggies all prepped and chop them up. We'll chop the carrots and the zucchini and put them in bowls, and they will be in matchsticks, and put a little bit of salt on them to kind of bring out the flavor. Obviously the bean sprouts don't really need a whole lot of help. Chop the green onions and the mushrooms and the peppers, and then we will get to the sauteing portion. Okay, so the next portion that we're going to be doing is just the sauteing, which is going to be really boring if you have to sit here for however long it takes me to saute everything, a couple minutes, because I'll have to clean the pan in between each veggie that I saute. Also, I'll have to dry all of the veggie before I put it in. So probably what you're going to see next is just a bunch of time-lapse video that we took where I've basically sauteed each of the veggies, and we'll come back in just a few minutes and see where we are then. Thanks. So let's take a look at my experiment by using the stone bowls in the oven, since I didn't have the correct thing. So if you look, that's definitely crispy rice. So that's all kinds of goodness, and we are super excited about that. Now what we have here is our zucchini, our red pepper, yellow pepper, carrot, mushroom. There's our meat, and here's our rice. Everything eventually gets topped with our gochujang. I always get gochugaru, which is the actual pepper, and gochujang mixed up, but gochujang is the paste. And it is all kinds of goodness. And then obviously after we do the egg and then the sesame seed. So what we're gonna do now is start assembling. So let's get to that point. Put our rice in the bowl. Now Koreans love their rice, and let me tell you, I've eaten a lot of rice since I got here. I didn't used to eat that much rice. I wasn't a huge fan of it. But since coming here, I've eaten a whole lot more rice, and to be honest, I've kind of grown to love it quite a bit. So
it's a very different kind of rice. It sits different.
It's a little more flavorful too, I believe. Alright, so we have our rice in our bowls. So then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to put your meat on. Now I'm probably going to use way more meat than most Koreans probably use in their bowls. So be prepared for that. And the one thing I do love about this though is just the beautiful like image that comes after it's done too, because it's just so pretty putting it together. And with the different colors of your veggies, it gives you just a pretty bowl. It's a pretty little artwork for you.
I'm going to stack it.
Good thing I cleaned the table. So what I'm trying to do is actually stack it like the Koreans do on the outside, so that basically when it comes to you, it's all kind of separated out.
Looks kind of like a flower.
Pretty much. So that's my goal here. Let's see if I can achieve that. Not behaving.
Needless to say, we are not gourmet chefs.
I am definitely not a Korean gourmet chef, though. That would be nice. And Chuck won't let me hire one. So neglected. Although if you notice in the time-lapse video with the sauteing, you'll see Chuck did quite a bit of the extra help with the sauteing. I'm not gonna lie, I love a man that can cook. He's really good at it. And I don't mind being his sous chef, so. The fun part about this too is once you get the bowl, it's your job to mix it together. So you kind of make your dish even tastier.
So it comes out pretty much vegetables and rice, and you get to add the spicy gochujang to your taste. You can turn it blood red, or you can leave it alone.
Alright, now I'm going to go cook some egg so we can top it with our eggs and be ready to go. Alright, so we have our eggs now. I did not video that because if you don't know how to make the egg for it, then that's really up to you. Some do a sunny side up. We do the soft egg in the center, but we do cook both sides of it.
Over easy.
Over easy. I don't eat them, so mine's a little more cooked than everybody else's. But the next step is to add yourself your gochujang. Now this is to taste. You put as much of this in as you want. I'm going to add some to Chuck's.
So be careful or it will light you up.
There we go. Alright, and then our next step is to taste it and see how we did. Alright, Chuck, here we go.
Alright, so for all the effort that goes into making it and how pretty it's supposed to be, just chop it up and mix it up. Be careful not to touch the bowl, it is freaking nuclear.
And our bowl is probably a lot more full than what you normally get at a restaurant because I did fill that up.
Yes, you did.
We just had a lot of extra veggies. I didn't want to waste it.
There's a reason I'm as big around as I am tall.
Oh, stop. I thought the reason was cheesecake.
Well, that too. And brownies, and we got to do some baking videos so they can see my pain, my suffering.
You're suffering. Well, it's your fault that you suffer. Because you do actually challenge me for half of those things.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Remember?
Don't poke holes in my perfectly good story with facts.
Ooh, I know. Alright, so if you see, he has got that
Pretty fairly mixed.
Alright, here goes the first bite.
Yeah, don't worry about trying to get everything in one bite because you'll never manage it.
And how did we do? Is it bibimbap-y?
It is bibimbap-y.
Is it almost as good as Hungari's bibimbap?
Pretty close. I'd say we could probably sell that if we wanted to run a restaurant.
So so we could open our own restaurant that we will not be making bibimbap.
Right.
Sweet.
Next time we may want to saute the vegetables a little longer. They are a bit firm.
Well, they're supposed to be firm, but you and I probably like ours a little bit more cooked.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
That's just a matter of taste, though.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to stop this for now. Did I put too much in? Sorry, baby. Add some rice. It'll be fine. All right, guys. So, final thoughts. I did a relatively good job, I think. Definitely not exactly Hungary, but pretty close. For me, I would probably use a little bit less bell pepper. Now, typically, if this was a real Korean meal that I had fixed, I would have had like tons and tons of banchan, which is the side dishes. But I didn't have any side dishes. And as you might have noticed, there's a little bit of a lack of kimchi on the table. I don't make kimchi, and I didn't pick up any when I was at the store, so that's the only reason we're missing the kimchi. But as for the Dolsot Bibimbap, I missed my spinach, I'll be honest. I really wish I had had spinach, so I definitely, next time make it, will have the spinach. We'll probably put less pepper in it, probably reduce the amount altogether of the extra veggies, but I chopped a little more than I probably should have, so I was overexcited about how I'm making Dolsot Bibimbap for the first time. But I think it turned out good for a first attempt. What do you think, Chuck?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
What are your tips? Because you always help me improve my dishes. What would you do better or differently?
I think we need to saute the zucchini a little bit longer. Probably add a little bit more salt to the meat, and probably some black pepper on top when you add the sesame seeds.
So, one of the things I love about cooking for Chuck is he's got a very good tongue for food. He enjoys food, but he also knows flavors. So when flavors aren't quite right, he's always very good at helping me to dial in that flavor, and I always trust his expertise on that. So when I cook something new for the first time, I probably bug him to death, asking about 1 billion times, what do you think? What do you think? Because I want to know what his feedback is through each, as he's eating it, because you have different ideas as you're going. But he always gives me really good feedback so that the next time I can make it even better than the time I made it this time. So that's what we have for today. If you enjoy videos like this, subscribe to our channel. If you don't enjoy videos like this, would you like to see dog videos or car videos or random videos from Korea or other randomness, because we're very random, also subscribe to our channel, because that's what we do. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. Y'all have a great day. Thanks for joining us.